This month's training will focus on cold stress. Cold exposure can manifest in outdoor settings or within indoor spaces lacking heating. Prolonged work in extremely cold conditions carries the risk of cold-related injuries, illnesses, permanent tissue damage, and even fatality. Wind chill represents the apparent temperature, or how it feels like, resulting from the interplay between wind speed and cold air temperature. This combined influence accelerates heat loss from exposed skin. The greater the wind's force at a specific temperature, the lower the wind chill factor. For instance, when the air registers at 15 degrees Fahrenheit and the wind speed reaches 10 miles per hour, your exposed skin experiences conditions akin to an air temperature of 3 degrees Fahrenheit. In such conditions, frostbite can develop within 30 minutes. When your body starts shedding heat more rapidly than it generates it, your core body temperature falls below the usual range, leading to the possibility of cold stress. Cold stress can occur not only in sub-freezing conditions but can also be induced by temperatures in the 50s combined with rain and wind. Cold stress can significantly impact work performance in several ways, often leading to reduced productivity, safety risks, and decreased employee well-being. Here are some of the key ways in which cold stress affects work performance. Cold stress can decrease your alertness. You may experience restlessness and a lack in concentration. Impaired performance of complex mental tasks. It may impair your ability to perform manual tasks. You may experience numbness, muscle weakness, and stiffened joints. This all leads to lower work efficiency, higher accident rates, and poor judgment. Clothing tips for cold weather. Dressing your body properly in cold weather requires wearing a minimum of 3 layers of loosely fitted clothing. This approach serves to trap air, provide insulation, and allow for improved ventilation. Begin with an inner moisture-wicking layer crafted from synthetic materials like polyester or polypropylene. This layer effectively draws moisture away from your skin, helping keep it dry. The middle layer should be an insulating one, featuring materials such as wool, down, fleece, or other lofted materials that can retain your body's heat. Your outer layer serves as a shield against wind and water. Opt for breathable waterproof fabrics like Gore-Tex or nylon, which permit some ventilation. Additionally, this layer should be windproof and may need to be resistant to oil, fire, chemicals, or abrasion. Any additional layers of clothing should be sufficiently roomy to prevent compression of the inner layers, thus maintaining their insulation properties. Protecting your head is important during the cold season. To minimize excessive heat loss, don a knitted cap or a liner beneath a hard hat. A face mask can provide added protection for your cheeks and nose. It's important to note that as much as 40% of your body heat can escape when your head is uncovered. Safeguard your hands with the use of gloves and mittens. This not only prevents cold-related injuries but also ensures safety and maintains dexterity. In extremely cold conditions, mittens are more effective. Additionally, hand and glove liners can be beneficial in keeping moisture away from your skin. Choose insulated boots equipped with removable felt liners and ensure you take out the liners daily for thorough drying. Consider opting for leather mucklick or pack-style boots, as they are porous and allow for breathability, enabling perspiration to evaporate. For tasks involving prolonged exposure to water or slush, such as firefighting or farming, it's essential to wear waterproof boots. If there is a risk of crushing hazards, make sure the boots are equipped with safety toes. Select warm, thick socks for added insulation. If you opt for 2 pairs of socks, use inner liner socks made of materials like polypropylene, silk, nylon, or thin wool to help maintain dry and warm feet. Ensure that the outer, thicker socks are larger to prevent compression of the inner socks. Work with a partner. It's crucial to avoid working alone in cold conditions. Keep a watchful eye on each other and be alert to signs of cold stress. Maintain dry clothing. Prevent your clothing from getting wet. Before entering heated shelters, remove any snow and moisture from your attire. While taking a break in a heated area, take off your outerwear to allow perspiration to evaporate. Keep spare dry clothing ready. Have an extra set of dry clothing, including shoes, a hat, and gloves, readily available in case your work clothes become wet. Skin contact with wet clothing can lead to faster heat loss, and excessive perspiration increases heat loss. Remove extra layers of clothing when you start feeling too warm. Regulate work pace. To avoid excessive sweating, adjust your work pace. Change into dry clothes if your clothing becomes wet. New employees should be given adequate time to acclimate to the cold in protective clothing before taking on a full workload. Avoid prolonged stillness, refrain from sitting or standing still for extended periods. Take regular breaks in sheltered areas away from the cold to prevent fatigue, as energy is required to keep your muscles warm. Consume high-calorie food. Maintain your energy reserves by consuming warm, high-calorie foods like pasta. Working in the cold demands extra energy to sustain body heat.